All right, I finally got my hands on one of these things because they're hard to get a hold of. Subaru makes an Outback and it sells right away. So what I have here today is the Subaru Outback with the 6-cylinder engine, limited trim, and EyeSight. But you can get any number of different models starting at roughly $29,000 and going all the way up to $42,000 for this particular model. Now, some of you might not be old enough to remember when the Outback first came out in 1994. This turned the auto industry on its ear because Subaru had taken an existing car platform, the Legacy wagon, they raised it up, they put cladding on the bottom, gave you greater ground clearance, and gave it a new name, Outback. Now, this vehicle has been a massive hit, and in fact, the auto industry has followed along with Subaru's lead after all these years. So it really is the original crossover. Okay, let's stop for a second. The AMC Eagle was the original crossover, but this is the original of the modern era. So if you like the idea of having a utility raised up for greater ground clearance, but still want good handling, this might be the utility for you. In fact, Subaru calls it the midsize SUV alternative. The cargo area around the back is very long, and if you fold down the rear seats, it's got a ton of room on the inside. If you compare it to a lot of compact or midsize SUVs, the cargo area around the back really is spectacular. Another thing that people like about this, it's easy to get in and out of. It's not too high, it's not too low, and if you have a dog, the cargo area in the back is really easy for dogs to jump in and out of. So let's get inside, we'll take it for a drive, and we'll talk about why, after all these years, Subaru has stuck with the formula and continued to make the Outback as popular as ever. So this Outback is a unique proposition. There really isn't much like it in the marketplace anymore because it really is a crossover vehicle. It's part car, part utility, and it really is a station wagon at its heart, and it started out that way. Yeah, we had the Legacy wagon, which they discontinued because the Outback became so popular that they just got rid of the Legacy. It started out as a station wagon, and at its essence, it still is a station wagon. The back seat is roomy, I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of leg room, lots of headroom as well. And the way that cars are classified, small, medium, and large, is not on the outside, it's the interior volume. So this competes with mid-size utility vehicles. But at the essence, as I mentioned, it's still a car. Now, when you add on top of that the Boxer engine, for those that are not aware, Boxer engines are Subaru engines that are horizontally opposed, meaning the pistons go this way instead of up and down, and that allows Subaru to package the engine in the engine compartment lower. So you have a car platform and you have a Boxer engine low in the chassis, and that gives you a lower center of gravity, which all comes together to produce a much better on-road experience, better handling. So this is a great product for people who want to have some utility but also like a car-like drive. And looking forward, the seating position is much more car-like. You don't sit up high looking over the hood. You sit pretty much like you would in a sedan. So that might be or might not be attractive to certain people. Don't worry, if you want that traditional crossover, you can get a Forester. And the Outback is the only product in the Subaru line that has a 6-cylinder engine. The base 2.5-liter 4-cylinder has 175 horsepower at 5,800 RPM, and this 6-cylinder has 256 horsepower at 6,000 RPM. Now, both use a continuously variable transmission, but these aren't shared with anybody. They're actually Subaru in-house transmissions, and if you get the 6-cylinder, you get the high torque CVT. And the combination of the 6-cylinder and the high torque CVT really is rewarding. It doesn't really feel like a CVT in any way. Now, here's the thing. When this Outback gets updated, they're probably going to go to the new engine that they're using in the Ascent. That's the turbocharged 4-cylinder, so this might be one of the last vehicles to ever get this 3.6-liter. So a few things bring people to the Subaru brand. First of all-wheel drive. Other than the BRZ, every Subaru comes standard with all-wheel drive. This is no different. The second, and a new one in the last few years, has been EyeSight. This is the advanced suite of advanced safety features. You've got the stereo cameras behind the rear view mirror. You've got forward collision warning, autonomous braking, lane keep assist, all the stuff we've come to expect. Subaru was one of the advanced pioneers with that. On top of that, another reason people come to the Subaru brand is because of resale value, and these have incredible resale value. Now let's get into the interior. And this has been sort of a weak point in the Subaru world, is their in-dash stereos really were kind of prehistoric. I'm here to tell you this has been updated to have the latest Subaru head units, and they're much better than before. The base model gets a 6.5-inch unit. This one is the 8-inch unit. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay are included along with backup cameras. So that has been updated. And there have been some minor updates to the outside as well. I'd be hard-pressed to point them out to you, but apparently they've made it look a little bit more rugged. So I used to call the Subaru Legacy wagon the dress shoe and the Outback the cross trainer. But they've really done a great job of making this Outback so civilized on road that it feels kind of like the old Subaru Legacy wagon did years ago. But now you get the ground clearance for going skiing, going to your cottage or cabin. I can see why these things are popular, and when they come up for sale in the used market, they're gone. Now, as I mentioned, you can get an Outback, starts around $29,000 in the Canadian marketplace, but because the way vehicles are sized is based on interior space, not on the exterior footprint. So on interior space, this does compete with mid-size SUVs, and when you compare it on price, that's an excellent starting price. It goes all the way up for the 6-cylinder limited with EyeSight I have here to 42, and there's so many different layers in between that you can choose your particular budget. Here's the one thing you have to keep in mind if you're buying this or really any Subaru product. Amazing resale value. So you buy an Outback, you drive it for several years, and you go to sell it, you're going to get a lot of that money back. So it's nice to get back in one of these after all these years, and I can see why people that have these love them and they want another one.